Wir kommen zur Mannschaftsaufstellung unseres SVW Wiesbaden. Natürlich mit unserem Trainer Nils Kuhl. Die Torhüter mit der Nummer 16, Florian! Mit der Nummer 4, Sascha! Mit der Nummer 5, Niklas! Die 8 Dani! Mit der Nummer 11, Karen! Die Nummer 15, Justin! Mit der Nummer 20, Ryan! Die 25, Niklas! Mit der Nummer 27, Dani! Und der Kapitän mit der Nummer 21, Fanny! Und mit der Nummer 37, Lukas! Die Auswechslungsspieler unserer Mannschaft sind heute Ersatztorwart mit der 31 Torhüter, mit der 6 Tino Wächter, die 8 Fabian Dreiecker, mit der 21 Olbodas, mit der 22 Piraneta, die 24 Peter, mit der 26 Jakob Lehmann, die 29 Moritz Flotto, die 28 und mit der 44 Dan Becker. Und jetzt lassen wir heute noch der DFB und ganz auf Leben. Kommt alles raus, was geht. Nur wir, nur der SVW Wiesbaden. Auf geht's!
Welcome to Wiesbaden and welcome to the final fixture of what has been an epic first round of DFB Pokal action. And it's a highlight act. Third tier, Wien Wiesbaden looking to slay a giant as they play host to record title holders Bayern München. The Britta Arena has opened its doors to some of Germany's biggest teams in recent seasons. None, though, are bigger than FC Bayern. But after 5 seasons of early exits in the DFB Pokal, the 20-time winners have a point to prove. 6 games separate them from the ultimate glory. In Wiesbaden of the Dritte Liga provide the first hurdle, but can Bayern avoid an early giant killing? Well, there is a sensational atmosphere brewing tonight at the Britta Arena. Wien Wiesbaden themselves are out to cause a sensation. And we're here in the capital of Hessen for a capital clash against their counterparts from Bavaria. And Bayern head coach Vincent Kompany said he didn't know much about Wiesbaden other than the fact it was near Germany's financial capital of Frankfurt. But make no mistake, this is a high-stakes night in a city just up from the River Rhine, known best for being home to some of the hottest thermal spas in the whole of Europe. And Wiesbaden, they're not about to provide any spa treatment or even star treatment for what is the biggest game in the lives of many connected to this community-driven club. To quote Jens, a supporter that I talked to on my way up to the Britta Arena today, if Kiel and Saarbrücken can beat Bayern and knock them out of the cup, then so can we. And therein lies the sense of hope for tonight's third-tier hosts. There's no escaping the fact that their last 3 DFB Pokal exits have all come in the first round against Bundesliga opposition in the form of Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig and local rivals Mainz. But we've got a star-studded ensemble in the stands as well. Julian Nagelsmann in attendance to see whether Bayern can start enjoying a bit of a nicer ride in Germany's Seoul Cup competition, because of late it's been a rough one. It all started in 2020 with a second round loss on penalties to Holstein Kiel. Even more embarrassing was the 5-0 loss to Borussia Mönchengladbach in the same round in 2021. A Jamal Musiala handball cost the Bavarians in the quarter-finals against Freiburg in the 22-23 campaign, while late drama and a legendary goal from Marcel Gauss saw third-tier Saarbrücken pull off one of the DFB Pokal's biggest giant killings in the second round the campaign after. And then there was last season. Rudi Völler's old side, Bayer Leverkusen, came to the Allianz Arena in the round of 16. It was reigning title holders against record title holders. A game decided by 2 moments. Manuel Neuer's first ever sending off of his professional career, and then Nathan Teller's winning goal against the 10 men of Bayern. You have to go back to the 1980s and 90s for the last time Bayern went this long without making an end-of-season appearance in Berlin. But they're more determined than ever to end that barren spell. James Thorogood on the mic, and I'm glad to say that I am not alone in the rafters, as alongside me I have former Germany international Julia Simic. Julia, good evening to you.
Hello, I'm very glad to be here tonight.
But an incredible atmosphere getting ready. We've got the Bayern fans to our right, Wiesbaden fans surrounding us. It promises to be a big cup night.
It's definitely a big cup night, and as we've proven yesterday again, there's no clear favorite. The cup has its own law, and I think this can always happen, even to the biggest teams, to the biggest favorites, and I hope it's going to be a very exciting game.
Vincent Kompany joined Bayern as an unproven head coach at the start of last season. The club bounced back from their first trophyless campaign since 2012 by winning the Bundesliga. But talk to me about the pressures that his side are facing, not just tonight, but in his second season, because they haven't had the best of times in the DFB Pokal.
Definitely, and he spoke about the will, the hunger, the whole club feels. And I think in terms of the DFB Pokal, it's just about time for the big FC Bayern, who they are, and still they are, that they just want to make it back to Berlin, where they, in their opinion, belong to. And I think this is just a journey where they want to start.
The Belgian has delivered silverware already in his second season, beating VfB Stuttgart in the Franz Beckenbauer Super Cup. But some would argue that this campaign will be defined by whether he can defend the Meisterschale and go deeper in the DFB Pokal. We are looking for a giant killing at the Britta Arena as we close out the DFB Pokal first round with a highlight act. Third tier Wien Wiesbaden against 20-time champions Bayern München. 31 teams have already booked their tickets to the DFB Pokal second round. Tonight we complete the lineup to a boisterous backdrop at the Britta Arena. Wiesbaden celebrating 100 years as a club. And what an opponent to do it against. James Thorogood, your match commentator, delighted to have your company, as well as that of former Germany international Julia Simic. Julia, great to have you alongside.
Thank you, I'm very glad to be here tonight.
Dortmund were here in 2020, Leipzig visited in 2022. I had the honour of being at both matches. I have to say the atmosphere tonight is up a notch, because this is the Bayern effect, isn't it?
It is, and for most of the players, maybe for all of them, it's the game, the match of their lives maybe. When do you have the chance to play against world-class players that Bayern definitely has? And even tonight they play with a very, very good side of them, and I think that's just a chance you should use. You shouldn't play with fear, you shouldn't play with stress, you just should enjoy it.
A night for heroes and villains, drama and dreams, guts and glory. It is do or die football, knockout action at its finest. These two teams ready to duke it out for a ticket to the DFB Pokal second round. The home crowd ready to play their part. The question is, can Wien Wiesbaden harness the power of this crowd to get the better of the record title holders? a look at the team sheet, starting with host VN Wiesbaden, who have made 3 changes to the side that suffered a heartbreaking 4-3 loss to Rot-Weiss Essen on the weekend. Sascha Mockenhaupt brings his vast experience to the back line. Doni Bogicevic slots in alongside Tarek Gozu-Sirin, the man who opened the scoring in the derby against Mainz this time last year. The final change sees Nicholas Agria-Fiotis partner captain Fatih Kaya up front. There are also 2 players with a Bayern past in Wiesbaden's lineup. Justin Janicek and Ryan Johansson, both spending time on the Bavarians' youth books. And there is a youthful look to Vincent Kompany's starting lineup. We'll go through that in just a second. Daniel Siebert, the man in the middle with the whistle this evening. Nice moment between 2 head coaches on the sidelines. And now a look at Vincent Kompany's lineup. He says he doesn't like the word rotation, but he makes 6 changes to the side that smashed Leipzig 4-6 last Friday. Manuel Neuer suspended after being sent off in the loss to Leverkusen last season. That means Jonas Urbig makes his first DFB Pokal appearance as a Bayern player. Bui, Kim and Guerrero are the fresh faces in the back line, while Leon Goretzka drops to the bench in place of Alexander Pavlovic. Up front, there's a DFB Pokal debut for Luis Diaz, while 17-year-old Lennart Karl makes his first ever start as a Bayern player, a reward for a very impressive pre-season. And there is a man that many of those players will be looking to impress, Julian Nagelsmann, announcing today his new Germany national team for the upcoming fixtures. Alexander Pavlovic in the Bayern lineup tonight, but an absentee on that list. He says he needs more game time. He gets it tonight. But plenty of players that I'm sure he will be interested in seeing their development. Jonas Urbig stepping in for Manuel Neuer at the back. That is never an easy job. And Lennart, new rising prospects in Bayern colours, 17 years old, and they already have such high hopes for him. Harry Kane in hat-trick scoring form on the weekend. His reputation, unlike Karl's, precedes him. After 5 seasons of early exits in the DFB Pokal, 20-time winners Bayern München have a point to prove. It starts tonight against VN Wiesbaden of the 3rd tier. And who's Luis Diaz with the first chance of the game? Drawing the save out of Florian Strietzel. A lightning start from Bayern München. Strietzel denying the Colombian a dazzling start to his DFB Pokal debut. 11 seconds on the clock. The first scare for VN Wiesbaden to survive. It will not be the last here tonight either.
It's probably the first wake-up call for VN Wiesbaden. It's going to start directly, straight from the beginning.
James Surrett, your match commentator, delighted to be joined by you, as well as former Germany international Julia Simic, who will be casting a keen analytical eye over all the action here today. A cheap concession of possession there, and Karl gets his first touch as a Bayern starter. He's impressed during pre-season, scored some eye-catching goals against Tottenham and Grasshoppers Club Zurich. Now a chance to impress from the off. It's all part of the new Bayern philosophy. They wanted to leave space in their squad for the young players this season. Lennart Karl is certainly the most high profile of the youngsters looking to break through.
And he's probably a good signal as well for other youth players. They build this huge campus in Munich where they want to build the next generation, but then they also have to use their talent, and Lennart Karl is, I think, an extraordinary good example for all the talented youth players coming up in the next generation.
Jamal Musiala, Josip Stanisic, Alexander, the other names, but Bayern want more. For them, that's not enough. They want more representation. Lennart Karl is certainly one that represents the future. An impact player who seems to be playing through the middle early doors, with Michael Olise on the ball out wide here. Beaten to the ball, and now a chance for Wiesbaden to break. not shell-shocked by the early shot conceded inside 11 seconds. Oh, nice little dummy. Lukas Schleimer. Switch of play doesn't quite work out in the first instance. Niklas Meyer on the far side looking for the early vertical pass. It was the former Bayern Academy player, Ryan Johansson, who was on the run there, and he's not the only one in the Wiesbaden lineup. Justin Janicek, the centre-back, is the other. Those are the types of players that never made the breakthrough with Bayern when the doors were more firmly shut. Here we see from kickoff. It's Route 1 football, but it worked, Julia.
Yeah, and it's a typical set piece now with the kick-off to overload. One side with one header that you win you straight away in front of goal, and it's a good way to start a game.
Pavlovic battling away in midfield. Bit of a loose pass, but no real pressure for Urbig. He's got the Bayern fans behind his goal for the first half. Bayern will be playing towards those fans in the second. Now Carl with a bit of space to manoeuvre. Olise back to Carl with a fancy flick. Carl looked to return the favour. Another neat turn by Schleimer. Florian Strietzel, I can tell you, was one of the few names that the Wiesbaden fans were chanting before the game, so he's clearly a fan favourite here. And when he makes saves like he made it after 11 seconds, you can understand why. A big early moment in this game. So from Mockenhaupt, only the pass infield. Bogicevic, nice switch of play. Bayern stretched momentarily as the cross comes in, and well, Kim, some calm defending there. Guerrero completes the clearance.
Wide open game for the first 5 minutes. I like the way Wiesbaden just starts the game after the little wake-up call they had, but since then they definitely in here and they have a match plan. You can see this, they use their counter-attacks and they want to rotate a lot, so Bayern gets out of their positional play and then they just want to get the ball in front of goal.
Diaz and Kane combined at the wrong end of the pitch. Mockenhaupt introduces himself to Bayern's star striker. Scored a second half hat-trick in that 6-0 win against Leipzig. Such an impressive Bundesliga campaign for Bayern and Vincent Kompany.
And you can see the way he always drops Harry Kane. He's just such a good footballer as well. He's having so many good ideas with the ball, so you could take him 5 times on the pitch and still find a position for him.
Yeah, you look at his goal-scoring record, you'd think he just camps inside the penalty area, but that is certainly not the case with one of the greatest goal-scorers to ever grace German football, and Bayern, a club that have a history of great goal-scorers. Harry Kane, the latest of them. That hat-trick against Leipzig, the 9th of his Bayern career. And given the fact that he's starting tonight, it means that next weekend against Augsburg, this coming weekend, he will make his 100th appearance for Bayern. Those 100 games have flown by, and they've flown by with a lot of goals being scored. He'll want more tonight as Diaz finds Olise, pocket of space to work with, and on his unfavoured right foot, can't hit the target.
But he still uses it, and I think these are exactly the little pockets, and now you see Olise in the middle in a central area. Carl is there as well, but he just takes the shot, just a quick first touch and a quick second one as well, and I think Olise is just one of many players to watch at the moment.
back at Vincent Kompany on the sidelines. Talked about the fact it's not just about big games at the Allianz Arena. Sometimes it's really nice to come to grounds like this. This is where you can feel the purity of football a little bit more. Special cup nights in store. A prospect to relish here at the Britta Arena, which is covering itself in glory already with a wonderful atmosphere. The flags are flying behind both goals. It is a sea of red and white because those are the club colours for both. Quite the sight to behold. All the colours and vibrancy of German football. Pavlovic wearing a face mask after picking up a broken eye socket in training before the start of the season. Now Sacha Boey bursting in behind, lovely play by Boey to find Kane! And on the follow-on there must have been a handball in the mix. Handball has been given against Bayern, not against Wiesbaden. A moment where VAR might have decided differently, but there is no VAR tonight.
And I think sometimes you can just also believe in the faces of the players, because they were just facing him from very near, and you can see this is a handball already. And then again, so it's basically two penalties when you watch that back, but it's a clear penalty. I think it's a clear handball even twice, and I think with every right, Harry Kane and all the other players can't believe it.
Well, of course, they had that incident against Leipzig on the weekend when Leipzig scored a goal that shouldn't have counted. It didn't count because Kimmich got involved, and then the VAR checked the incident. Now, VAR actually shouldn't have done that based on the laws of the game, but the goal did not stand for Leipzig. Now, of course, I don't think they'll be getting any concessions in that regard tonight, but that looked like a clear handball, and to be honest, I'm not even sure what the referee gave in Wiesbaden's favour there in terms of a foul against them. But we move on from a moment of controversy that we hope not to dwell on as Wiesbaden charged forward, but stopped in their tracks by Jonathan Tah, the only member of the Bayern backline to keep his starting spots after the game against Leipzig. An impressive Bundesliga debut for Bayern, for Jonathan Tah, a man who has a certain pedigree about him given his time with Bayer Leverkusen. Kane doesn't produce the quarterback pass there, it goes astray. Kimmich having words with Pavlovic in the middle of the park there. His passes have not been on point so far. The young Bayern midfielder. Now Kimmich drops in between the two centre-backs. Bayern with every player inside the Wiesbaden half, which again I'm sure will be part of the going tonight. Pavlovic out to Sacha Boey. Two Frenchmen combine out wide on the right, but Olise short of options. The hosts have collapsed their lines. Now it's on Bayern to break them down. See Niels Döring there at the bottom of your screen, the Wiesbaden head coach. Thoroughly involved in the performance his players are producing out on the pitch right now. Olise gets clipped late. Kimmich to Kim, now to Diaz. Isolates Sascha Mockenhaupt in a one-on-one situation. Releases Guerrero in behind. Just for a moment, you saw the key there for Bayern, injecting pace into proceedings. Diaz did so well, and all of a sudden a bit of danger.
Yes, and it's just a switch of tempo you need in these games. You need the patience, you need the ball circulation, but then at one point you have to increase the tempo and put up the speed, accelerate to just use the little pockets you have. But before that, you need clean passes, and this is something Bayern doesn't have on point today so far.
Mockenhaupt taking the battle to Luis Diaz, but he's certainly well used to getting a rough ride from opposition defenders, the Colombian. By Diaz. Diaz looking for a teammate, he found Karl, and he went for the spectacular. The first time volley, high degree of difficulty, didn't pull it off.
And I think Sascha Mockenhaupt will have a hard night tonight against Luis Diaz, because he's taking on these 1v1 challenges, and with his speed and tempo, you have to be concentrated in every single second of this game.
The younger Ole Wöhlers, who started on the weekend against Rot-Weiss Essen. Mockenhaupt came back in for this game. He is Wiesbaden's all-time record appearance maker in all competitions, 321 including tonight, but he's 33 years old and certainly not an easy job against Luis Diaz. Now Guerrero's got it out wide on this near side. Lukas Schleimer won out and then lost out. Guerrero with a chance to cross now. Oh, there's a big pull at the back post as well, and this time penalty awarded to Bayern. Wiesbaden survived one scare in this regard, but not a second. Bayern Johansson penalised.
It's probably not as clear as the first potential penalty was, but yeah, he has his hand on the Bayern player for probably too long. He's holding him back, his shoulder, and then he's pulling him off, and I think Sascha Boye takes it, but for me it's a penalty. You can definitely decide like this.
Especially as it was a goal-scoring opportunity with the ball dropping to Sascha Boye. And now just over a quarter of an hour played here at the Britta Arena, and a sight that no opposition team wants to see. Harry Kane putting the ball on the penalty spot for Bayern München. Florian Striezel has already put off a really fine save to deny Luis Diaz. Can he do the same to Kane? He missed a penalty in pre-season. He said that's the time to miss it. Harry Kane sends Striezel the wrong way. Bayern have the lead, and it's a breakthrough their dominance has deserved.
And I think in terms of quality of penalties, you can't take it better than Harry Kane, because he's full of control. He exactly knows what he does. He waits for the keeper to jump, and then he just plays it in the other corner. So very high quality penalty to take.
He is one of the best in the business. 22 penalties converted out of 22 since the penalty miss against France, the World Cup in 2022. Those 22 in 22 for club and country. From the spot last season in the Bundesliga, he was one shy of equaling the all-time single-season record of 10 penalties scored. That record still held by Paul Breitner.
It's been a while.
Well, Kane was on 9 for so long, it just felt inevitable, but that 10th penalty just never arrived. yet. Bayern dominating possession, now in front on the scoreline. Diaz, lovely turn to find space, now finds Olise, runners ahead of him. Olise looking for Harry Kane, back post on the stretch. Not a touch, but not enough to turn it towards goal. Poor pass from Mockenhaupt, and Wiesbaden playing themselves into pressure. This is where they have to keep cool heads. An early setback, early struggles.
And the game doesn't get any easier, especially when you're 1-0 down, and then you have to have the concentration, and you're running behind the ball, and fire after fire, cross after cross, and you're just running after the ball. It's a thing of being mentally very strong.
Luis Diaz dipping into his bag of tricks. What an impact he's made in a short space of time since joining from Liverpool in the summer. We saw Olise really steal the show last season. Maybe Diaz could do the same in the current campaign. Positive signs early though.
It's so positive, and I feel like Luis Diaz is here since many months. The way he plays and the way he integrates into the team is so fluid, so fluent. He's just part of it, and very, very natural.
Julian Nagelsmann alongside Rudi Völler and Benjamin Hübner. Nagelsmann, Germany national team head coach. Rudi Völler, the team manager for the national team. An interested onlooker ahead of the international break that's coming up. His squad named earlier today. Alexander Pavlovic winning the ball in midfield. Kimmich looking to find Diaz. Luis Diaz! Streltsov sticks out a palm. Big push on Jonathan Tah there by the Wiesbaden captain, Matti Kaya. But here's the chance for Diaz again. That's two now saved by Streltsov.
Yeah, very good goalkeeper performance so far, but also very good performance from Luis Diaz.
Guerrero now to Kane. Bayern piling on the pressure, not satisfied with one goal. Kaya keeps leaving a foot in on some of the Bayern players, but more of that's needed from the rest of his teammates. They're almost not getting touch tight to these Bayern players. They're letting them show their quality, and that's always a very dangerous game to play. The belief was in the Wiesbaden ranks that Bayern would dominate, but they were always going to get their 2 or 3 chances. They just needed to take them. Right now, it's hard to see them even generating any threat up front. Boué looking for Olise. Well cut out at the back by Mike. Niels Döring is trying to rally his troops in the sidelines. Schleimer, neat flick, but it needs to find purchase and doesn't. One chance just to settle on the ball for the home side. Hansson. Frustrated by the lack of support. So throw it goes Bayern's way. Not that extra motivation needed, but I'm sure for Ryan Johansson and Justin Janitsek there is a little extra motivation coming up against the club that they used to be on the youth books of. Special night for the 2 Wiesbaden players. Truth be told, it's a special night for all of the Wiesbaden players, because when you come up against Bayern in the first round of the DFB Pokal, it normally goes down as one of your career highlights. They've had a fair few of them in recent seasons. Borussia Dortmund came here in the 21-22 campaign, a certain Erling Haaland scoring a hat-trick in a 3-0 win. They ran Leipzig close 2 seasons after that in a 3-2 win for Leipzig. Benjamin Šeško bagged a brace, but so did Ivan Pretain. Then it was Mainz last season, went to extra time after a 1-1 draw, 2 late goals denying Niels Döring and co.
Quite used to big challenges, obviously.
Yeah, the difficulty is then they tend to end in the first rounds, the cup campaigns. I'm sure a team like Wiesbaden wouldn't mind booking a ticket to the second round at some point. Now Johansson, bit of space between the lines, neat footwork as well, and gets the foul. Well, Lukas Schleimer there trying to play the free kick quickly and throw Joshua Kimmich under the bus, and Kimmich shares a thought or two afterwards. But a set-piece situation now that Wiesbaden can maybe utilise.
That's probably the 1% chances that Niels Sterling spoke about before the game that they have. So having chances, options like this, you should just try and use it the best way possible.
To the edge of there it goes. Second chance opportunity, and well, it was blocked, as was that effort. They are trying to here Wiesbaden. First time into the Bayern final third. Mai losing out there against Karl. Neat turn, draws the foul. They're the confidence that Lennart Karl plays with.
And this is exactly why I, for example, love to watch him play, because he's just so brave. Like, even if he doesn't get many touches on the ball, the moment he has the ball, he's always having an idea. Even if he plays against men that probably double the height he has, so he's just very, he's never fearful, he's just trying, and you can see in these moments the talent he has.
I think as well, Lennart Karl, 17 years old, being talked about as the future for Bayern, and a first look for Julian Nagelsmann, the Germany national team head coach. Potentially a youngster that could play a part in the future, and a couple of the under-21 heroes from the summer making their way into the most recent squad. Finn Dahmen, Paul Nebel, Namdi Collins. Bayern represented with Kimmich, Goretzka, Gnabry and Jonathan Tah. Technically through Alexander Nubel as well.
I was just about to mention this, because the goalkeeper position at the moment is not clear, so that's also a chance somehow for Jonas Urbig, because he's definitely full of talent.
Kane forced away from goal. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about Manuel Neuer maybe deciding to return to national team duties, given the way he's been rolling back the years with some recent performances. Missing tonight, suspended. Now Karl and Kane combine. Kane just ran out of real estate, but poor clearance. Keeps Bayern on the front foot here. Again, you can see every single Bayern player except Jonas Urbig on your screen right now. Territory firmly in favour of the record title holders.
Yeah, it's definitely the style of play of Vincent Kompany is when you just have these little pockets, small areas that also, if you lose the ball, you win it back very quickly.
You can see on the statistics the dominance that we're talking about represented as well. And normally you see underdogs winning the majority of the challenges because they have to make a few more, but Bayern on top in that department as well, which is always dangerous for teams like Wien Wiesbaden. Diaz spots Bouet out wide, cut back to Diaz! That was a creative 1-2. It almost came off, but Diaz again, he just can't get his first DFB Pokal goal yet.
Not yet. No, but he's so active, so agile everywhere, and he's full of energy, and I think that's probably the piece of the puzzle that Bayern was missing, because you can see he passes the ball and he's straight away in the box and he gets that huge chance, and I think the goalkeeper wouldn't have gotten it, but there were other legs of his teammates just saving that ball. But the energy of Luis Diaz, I think, is amazing.
New club, new teammates, new culture, new country. It's not to be taken for granted that Diaz has made the impact he's made so early.
But when you hear former coaches, former teammates speaking about him, they were all mentioning he's just enjoying his life, his football. He's always having a smile on his face, and that's probably exactly what he shows on the pitch. He's just happy to play football, and that's in a very, very outstanding way.
He scored in the Franz Beckenbauer Super Cup, the 2-1 win against Stuttgart. He scored in the 6-0 win against Leipzig. On the hunt for a debut goal in the DFB Pokal as well. Daniel Siebert, the referee, certainly been in the thick of things early doors. This was the handball that wasn't given. Julia still can't quite believe it. Neither can Harry Kane.
I can't just believe what he saw there and what he was deciding in terms of giving the free kick to Wien Wiesbaden. But there they got their penalty. That's also an earned and deserved one.
You see the replays there as well. Florian Schlietz has been having a good game. He moved a little too early from the spot kick, and that always makes life a touch easier for a player like Harry Kane, given the quality he has in those situations. I mentioned 22 goals from the spot. Those are all for Bayern. When you think about club and country, Harry Kane has now scored his last 31 from the spot. That's why it was so surprising when he missed a penalty in pre-season against Tottenham.
But perfect timing, right?
That's what great goal scorers are all about. Vincent Kompany might be a little bit more familiar with Wiesbaden now. Did reference the fact that they are good on the counter. They've got guys that have a good sense of space. And in the one flash we had of them going forward, we saw that.
Yeah, and they have good speed there. They have a clear plan when they have the ball. Their first view goes up. Is there someone threatening in behind? And exactly in these moments, there are 2-3 players already on the jump wanting to sprint in behind the defense row of Bayern.
Guerrero looking for Diaz, Mockenhaupt, and to stretch, concedes the corner. Player who has been there and seen it all with Wiesbaden, promoted up into the Zweite Bundesliga with them as well. Loyal. He's had some highlight moments over the course of his career. He'd like to add another tonight. But right now, hard going for Wiesbaden. Kane's goal separating the sides. Just over half an hour played at the Britta Arena. Bayern looking to double their advantage. Go behind for another Bayern corner. Despite Nicholas Mai's best efforts. Fizz to the back post. Tar was ready to attack. Still the chance alive! Oh, Schlitzel! Well, he really is racking up a compilation of fine saves tonight. This is the latest to deny Guerrero.
Here's exactly the day you need on a cup night when you play against Bayern Munich, because this is how he keeps his team alive, with saves like this, and he's just there, and this is the body language you also need to have from your goalkeeper.
Another Kimmich corner to cause chaos. Hitzel, firm punch. Given the fact they haven't had a lot to cheer about, they are celebrating those moments, the home fans, and rightly so.
They probably feel what the team needs, and this is exactly the energy you need to have from the stands. Little moments where you have to push each other rather than just breathing and being just able to keep the momentum alive.
Kimmich. Lovely first touch from Lennart Karl. Looks to take on his man. As Julia pointed out, always so purposeful when he gets on the ball, Lennart Karl. Now with Pavlovic. Patient play and a touch there. It'll give Bayern another corner. Agrafiotis there, having to do some defensive work. String of set-piece situations now for Bayern. Kimmich with one of the most devilish deliveries in German football. Kim and Tah retreat. And again, Bayern keeping themselves on the front foot here. Bit of a trip there on Olise, but he tried to ride the challenge, got no reward for it. And therein lies an issue for Wiesbaden. They cannot afford to gift the ball back to Bayern that way. Bayern already a goal to the good thanks to Harry Kane. He has scored in all 3 competitive fixtures so far this season, 5 goals scored, and I tell you what, that's not good news for German football and the rest of teams that are going to face Bayern this season, because he is already finding his rhythm, his mark. And that always spells danger, because it's 5 goals so far, Julia, but who knows what the number could be by the end of the season.
Exactly, I think there are no limits, to be honest, because you feel like Harry Kane gets better and better with getting older year after year, and I think he really arrived in German football, and he loves to play in the Bundesliga because he's just so successful and also so efficient, like probably never before.
65 goals in 64 games in the Bundesliga. All time now for Bayern, it's 99 and 90. A reminder, appearance number 100. The big major milestone comes on the weekend against Augsburg at the WWK Arena. Something tells me he might have a goal saved for that special occasion as well. But he might not be done here tonight. He got 3 against Leipzig last Friday.
And that's also a big part of his quality, that he never stops. He's never happy, he's never done really. He can just come out of nowhere. Sometimes you don't see him for a couple of minutes and then he's just in front of goal, and whenever he has that chance, he's most of the time using it.
Karl, cheeky flick, Diaz! Oh, it would have been spectacular. The chances are getting harder, but he's still racking them up.
I think there are even some Wiesbaden supporters who are clapping hands just for that little moment of show of entertainment. And the idea, again, it just speaks for all his energy, what we spoke about earlier. Just having the idea in this moment to take that bicycle kick is just a player you love to watch.
Oh, chance on for Wiesbaden. They got men over on the left here. It's Kaya. The follow-up is sent wide. Agrafiotis just needed to keep his cool with that rebound effort.
A very good counter-attack, and this is where you can stretch Bayern. You rotate around, and Bayern is fully out of their positions, and very good block. here from Kim, but also the second one should have at least been placed on the goal rather than taking it wide. But good chance, fans are back, and then you feel again there's something in this game, because it's definitely not over yet for Wiesbaden.
Well, Lennart Karl is busting a gut to make a run through the middle. Diaz's early pass came close to finding him. Cut out though by Janicek. Diaz wants it on this near side again. He's peeling away from Mockenhaupt. Right now the play on the far side with Taran Kimmich. Kimmich looking to split the lines for Kane, and Rietzel again stands strong at his near post. 5 saves now for him.
And offside as well, which probably doesn't count anymore, but again another very, very good save. It's just where you need to be as a goalkeeper, and he's definitely keeping up his good performance.
Right into that near post, congested Kimmich. First the loose ball back out to Elise. Lofted into the night sky, and it doesn't fall for Karl. Olise against Mai. Mai, who was then fouled by Sacha Bouet. A little overzealous there with the shoulder barge.
I wouldn't have taken that decision, but that's okay.
That's the type of challenge you see in the Dritte Liga every weekend.
Exactly.
If not every match.
Yeah.
Got to say, the Bayern travelling fans really outdo themselves. They've been vocal from the start, and their presence is actually making the Wiesbaden fans up their game as well.
They're pushing each other.
Diaz with a bit of defending to do. Shadowed by 3, and then the outlet pass is a dreamy one to Elise. Oh, well done to Niklas Mai. Stayed tight in the foot race, made the challenge, and now down the other end. Agafiotis gives chase. He's only got Kaya in the middle, the captain, to aim for. More support arriving now. Agafiotis looking for Kaya, but Kim's there first. Wiesbaden with a better foothold in the game now. Collected a couple of goal-scoring chances themselves. The problem is, on a night where they're going to get few, the ones they have created so far have not been converted. Diaz, a man who has already racked up more shots than the whole Wiesbaden side tonight. Provider as well. Those crossfield passes are keeping the host stretched now. Kimmich. Guerrero. Kane, who knocks it down. This time the offside flag is up against Harry Kane.
Not that easy as well for the referees to be in these first rounds of the cup. You all of a sudden have to work without the VAR, without the support from outside, where you can at least, if you're completely wrong, have the support in the back. And this is something where they can see they sometimes struggling a bit without this decision was completely right. So yeah, good scene from the referee team.
Got a look there at Vincent Kompany on the sidelines, no real smile etched on the face. Made a statement in his pre-match press conference about Bayern being in Germany, but he said that's not enough. Said in the cup, it's about wanting it more, and Bayern are certainly showing that hunger. No sign of them settling at 1-0. Of course, you go back a couple of seasons, and third-tier opposition that Bayern faced in 1. FC Saarbrücken. They were 1-0 up in that game as well. Ending in a 2-1 defeat. Type of result that Wien Wiesbaden are using as inspiration tonight, I'm sure. Marcel Gauss with the legendary last-minute goal. It was Holstein Kiel as a second-tier side that started this whole run with a penalty shootout win against Bayern after a 2-2 draw, a dramatic game. Interestingly, Uwe Stöver, who's the sporting director here for Wien Wiesbaden, was the sporting director for Kiel back in the day. I'll hold the floor because Elise's in behind here. Climber with a chance maybe to alleviate the pressure. But to finish the thought from Uwe Stöver, he talked about the fact that on that day for Kiel there were so many things that worked in their favour. The weather conditions, Bayern not being at their best. There were no fans in attendance as well because it was during the COVID times. And that's the thing, when you come against Bayern, several factors have to go in your favour. Some of those you have to force. Right now Diaz trying to you in the final third, but that's the worst bit of play we've seen from Luis Diaz tonight.
Yeah, probably. But what you mentioned, that's exactly what the coach said as well, Niels Sterling, when he spoke about having a special day. And meaning having a special day against Bayern means also that Bayern doesn't have their best day and that they don't reach that 100%. And this is something what needs probably factors from outside, but also some you can force. And I think these are the games where you have to keep them open as long as possible. The 1-0 lead from Bayern probably gives them a little bit of a breather, really, that they don't have to play against the time. But for Wien, it's still everything in the game. With one goal, one little chance, you're still back in the game, and this is something what the big teams, the favourites in the first rounds, always fear.
Yeah, we saw Niels Døring, the head coach, on the lines there, and he talked about his side needing to stay true to themselves. And I think they've done that despite the early setback here. We've got a minute of time added on at the end of the first half. Delightful first touch from Diaz, but stopped in his tracks by the offside flag. Wiesbaden trying to play that from the back. Always easier said than done against a team of Bayern's quality and their desire to press high up the pitch. And now the long ball straight to Elise, who's virtually in the back line. Now he picks it up from Pavlovic again. Elise, Diaz has peeled away and tried to improvise.
But this is probably something that Niels Døring will take into the halftime, is don't give the ball away easily and cheaply as well.
Well, there is the halftime whistle, not for the first time. It is a Harry Kane goal that separates the sides. Bayern München, the DFB-Pokal record title holders, taking on third-tier Wiesbaden, and they lead by a goal to 0 at the break. Well, Bayern and their star-studded lineup have dazzled and delighted. Florian Strietzel there, the Wien Wiesbaden goalkeeper, has done his best to keep them at arm's length, and he's certainly been the busier of the two keepers. But in the end, Bayern's dominance does also show on the scoreline, Julia.
Yeah, definitely, and probably fully deserved the 1-0 lead, but also a tough one, because you have to earn that, you have to deserve it, and you have to put some work rate in, like he does, Luis Diaz especially. But I think it was a tough start into the game, but then they found the control and the balance, and I think we can still be very excited for the second half.
Yeah, their first shot of the game came after 11 seconds, Bayern. It was a lightning quick start that set the standard, set the stall for this game as well. And you can look at the statistics that underline the dominance as well. One penalty denied that looked like a clear handball. Harry Kane wasn't happy about it, but he then got another penalty that was given by the referee Daniel Siebert and converted by Mr. Harry Kane. But here we now can take a look at the highlights, and the Route 1 football from kickoff is part of the Bayern DNA under Vincent Kompany, and it almost produced a debut DFB Pokal goal for Luis Diaz after 11 seconds. That, incidentally, the first shot he had as a Bayern player in competitive action that wasn't converted. Now here's the first penalty incident that wasn't given and somehow was given as a free kick to Wiesbaden, but it seemed like there was a clear handball there from Jordi Gillikens. Harry Kane saw it, but the referee Daniel Siebert didn't. And of course, no VAR to come to the referee's rescue, or to Bayern's in that regard. But the VAR wasn't needed. Sacha Boey with a big pull on the shirt by Ryan Johansson, and this time Daniel Siebert did point to the spot in Bayern's favour despite Johansson's protests, and Harry Kane ultimately keeping his cool from the spot, as we know he can do, sending Florian Strietzel the wrong way. 22 penalties out of 22 converted as a Bayern player for Harry Kane. Bayern were dominant, but Wiesbaden did have glimpses of goal. This arguably their best. Agrafiotis firing high and wide, but it does mean that at 1-0 this game is not won. Bayern have been warned, but at the break the record title holders lead by a 1-0.
Welcome back everybody here pitch side with our expert Julia Simic. Julia, what do you think about this first half where Bayern took the lead?
Very open game, first of all. I think very deserved as well. The Bayern took the lead with a penalty. There was definitely a clear one. There should have been a second one for Bayern. But I think Wien Wiesbaden is playing a very good, very solid first half with a very, very good goalkeeper performance as well. But they have their little moments, and this is something where they're still alive, and this is what they can take into the second half.
Let's talk about Harry Kane. He converted his last 31 penalties. He scored now in all the competitions, 5 goals overall. Everybody needs a Harry Kane in his team, right?
I just said you can probably take him 5 times on the pitch and find a position for him, because he's just so good. He's so good in building up. He's so good at securing balls, but he's also the best probably in terms of his efficiency, in terms of scoring goals and every penalty, apart from the one in pre-season for Bayern, he just finds the back of the net, and this is something, he's a machine, he's pure quality.
Talking about a machine, I was sitting here pitch side seeing Luis Diaz running up and down. How do you assess his arrival to the team?
It feels like he's there forever because he integrated so well into the team. His work rate, especially his energy, just the drive he has and he brings to the team is something that probably Bayern was missing a bit in recent years. And this is something, even if not everything is perfect, he's just always trying to do something. And his bicycle kick probably spoke for himself.
And you know, and you can see that he knows how to handle the ball. So let's see what happens in the second half. Thank you, Julia. Enjoy, everybody.
It's the round where the unexpected can really happen.
A Bundesliga giant beaten by a non-league side.
As they say, the cup makes its own rules.
While the record champions were busy signing autographs, their non-league opponents were carefully studying the tactics board. It was the game of the century for FV Weinheim. The mighty Bayern were in town, with 5 freshly crowned world champions in their lineup. But third-tier Weinheim could sense DFB Pokal history in the making. In the 28th minute, Thomas Schwechheimer, pincer by trade, hammered home from the spot. The overwhelming underdogs were in the lead. An emotional dressing room talk and a second-half performance full of guts and grit saw them over the line. Party time in provincial Weinheim as the non-league minnows celebrated one of the all-time cup shocks.
90 minutes, no goals between 4th tier Rot-Weiß Essen and Bayern 04 Leverkusen. Bailey! Oh, he's got it! Rot-Weiß Essen throwing everything forward now. Kefke scores! After 108 minutes, are back in the game. 3 minutes to go. This is Engelmann! It's Engelmann! Quarter-final for Rot-Weiß Essen, and this is why we love football!
For tiny Sandhausen, it was a huge draw. The provincial side played host to big city Stuttgart, who had big names on board. Jogi Löw, the assistant coach, and their famous magic triangle up front, Bobic, Elber and Balakov, the man who grabbed the opener. That was cancelled out by Matthias Bernhardt, before Bobic restored the lead after the break. But with just 3 minutes to go, Slavisa Staletovic nodded home the next equaliser. 2-2 the final score. And after a goalless extra time, the match went to an extraordinary penalty shootout. Everyone scored 25 successful spot kicks in a row, a DFB Pokal record. Then Hendrik Herzog stepped up and hit the post. There was no holding back. Third-tier Sandhausen were through after an epic shootout drama and rewriting the DFB Pokal history books.
A clash of Traditionsvereine in the first round of the DFB Pokal. Luis Opie! Oh, what a strike that was! Bielefeld reach the second round.
Oh, he's given it away, and he's paid the price. Arminia Bielefeld will represent the Dritte Liga in the third round. This is Lannert! What a wonderful goal, and the whole of Bielefeld goes crazy. Oh, that's a super goal. It's another one for Bielefeld, and the Bielefelder arm erupts. Third tier Arminia Bielefeld faced Bayer Leverkusen, and it's goal! 1-1! Oh, it's 2-1! Bielefeld reach the final.
Bielefeld have already beaten 4 Bundesliga teams. Will Stuttgart be number 5? It's Nick Woltermann! Zundam! A dream final for Stuttgart. Bielefeld, no recriminations, only immense pride.
Eintracht Trier had a taste for giant killing in the 1997-98 season. After seeing off Unterhaching and Schalke, it was time for the Champions League holders to rock up at the Moselstadion. Everyone wanted a glimpse of Borussia Dortmund. Even global stars like Paulo Sousa, Andreas Möller and Jürgen Kohler had to admire Trier's opener. The regional league outfit showing it had world-class capabilities too. It was the same story in the second half as Trier doubled their lead. Jürgen Kohler did reduce the arrears later, but no more than that. A third-tier outfit knocking out the Champions League winners. A story only the DFB Pokal can write.
Hello and welcome back everyone to the Britta Arena tonight, playing host to what is the final DFB Pokal first round tie of the 25-26 season. And yeah, you could argue the best. There were some gripping ties that have come before it. Nevertheless, we've got the record title holders in action against third-tier opposition, Wien Wiesbaden against Bayern München. And as we get ready for the second half, there is just a goal in it, which means that we're perfectly poised in the cup tie for maybe some dramatics in this second half. Luis Diaz has dazzled on his DFB Pokal debut. He probably should have got a goal by now, but right now Harry Kane the only name on the score sheet. James Sorogan, your match commentator, alongside me Julia Simic, and it's fair to say that Bayern have taken VN Wiesbaden very seriously so far tonight.
Very seriously, but also because VN Wiesbaden made their way into that match, and they fought hard and they were tackling hard and they did exactly what an underdog has to do, and that's just the willing side, the mentality, the fans you need in the background, and a very good goalkeeper as well.
And Florian Strietzel, arguably the man of the match so far tonight here at the Britta Arena. As he has made a string of fine saves to deny Bayern's star-studded ranks. Vincent Kompany will be demanding more, no doubt about that. They sent a statement in their first game in the Bundesliga. They'd like to send a statement in the first round of the Cup as well. One goal in it and all to play for in the second half of this DFB Pokal first round tie. Kane's penalty separates the sides from the first half, but what can VN Wiesbaden, the underdogs, conjure up after the restart? James Sauger, your match commentator, delighted to have the pleasure of your company, as well as that of former Germany international Julia Simic. And from what we saw in the first half, I think we could both agree we felt Bayern probably should be ahead by more, but credit to Wiesbaden, because when you fall behind early against Bayern, it's very easy to collapse, and there's been no sign of that whatsoever from the hosts today. Exactly, and they just stuck to their match plan, really. They were very disciplined, they held their shape as well, and they made it very, very hard for Bayern to find pockets, to find options to penetrate in behind, and that's something where you can see the picture now, Harry Kane always falling and dropping deep to get on boards. And this is something from a mentality side, it's very hard to keep, but so far for the first 45 minutes, VN Wiesbaden did a really good job. Sacha Bouet driving forward from right back and sees his shot blocked. Caught the eye on occasion in the first half as well as Jonathan Tah. Loses the 50-50 against Kaya, and the throw goes the way of the home side. Those are some more of the fine margins that Niels Döring needs in the second half. Kim calmly playing it back to Jonas Urbig. Wiesbaden did carve out a couple of chances, but Urbig not forced into a save. Certainly none of the calibre that we've seen from Florian Strietzel at the other end. Kane finding a pocket of space to Leonard Karl. First appearance in a Bayern starting lineup tonight for the 17-year-old. We've seen flashes, but there's more to come. As now Guerrero turns the corner, feeding Diaz to the byline, but in the end, there wasn't a lot of space to work with there. Strietzel now has the Bayern fans behind his goal in this second half, and they've been making quite the racket, adding to this wonderful cup atmosphere that has been brewing all day. The weather threatened to dampen it because we had a rainstorm rush in at around about 6 o'clock that we thought might hold on until kickoff. Something tells me there are a few fans that maybe got a little soggy in the market square in the city centre, but everyone was still in good spirits, not dampened at all. Unfortunately, Mother Nature decided to give us clear skies come kick-off. The floodlights on, it always has that special feeling, especially in the Cup. And especially also these little stadiums, when they pack, when they full, the fans are so close as well to the pitch, and that's something where you can basically them eye to eye, and this is something also extraordinary as well from a player side, to have that feeling as well when you're just surrounded by the atmosphere. Well, Pavlovic just waited on the ball, and Akrafiotis got there ahead of him, and Pavlovic is going to be penalised, and rightly so. Kompany said it, who wants it more? And in that moment, Akrafiotis wanted it more. Definitely, little moments like this keeping you alive, and this is something maybe with his head mask, he doesn't have the clear view all around his head, but this is something where he's a bit sloppy, a bit slowly, and these are the chances for VN Wiesbaden to just jump into it, get your foot in, and then get a good free kick as well in a good position. That's got to affect periphery vision there, you think, for Pavlovic, who has one of the most unique injury lists of any footballer of his age. And now free kick for Wiesbaden. Chance to stay in Bayern's final third, and they didn't find themselves in that area of the pitch all too often in the first half. Clipped in, Agrafiotis with the flick on. Now Johansson. Looking for the 1-2. Kaya went down after tangling with Tar. Certainly not as clear as the two penalty shots we saw in the first half, one of which was given for Bayern, the other denied, which actually looked the clearer of the two. Oh, cheeky nutmeg from Elise. Right in front of Vincent Kompany. You've got to think he's would enjoy moments like that, despite being an elite defender in his time.
Probably not his favourite actions.
That was generous in Bayern's favour.
Bit of a pushing and holding, and probably not long enough to give a penalty, but there was a similar situation from the other side, from Wien Wiesbaden. That was given a penalty a bit longer in the penalty area, but still, yeah, I think he has to be careful, Jonathan Tah, in these moments.
Lennart Karl. Oh, it falls to Elise! They were lining up ready to take the effort. 5 minutes into the second half, Bayern double their advantage. Lennart Karl was the spark. Elise provides the finish.
And that's what we mentioned in the first half. Whenever Lennart Karl is on the ball, he's always creating something. He's not passing the ball back with 17 years. He's going into two players, and then, yeah, maybe it's not intentional, but the ball goes through because of his bravery, really, and just facing duels. And that's something a 1v1 player needs, and a player of his quality as well. Even if he's young, he really creates that chance and that goal in the end. And Elise says thank you.
His first ever goal in the DFB Pokal.
And probably an easy one as well, from his quality.
He's another player that started in fine fashion at the start of this season. You got a feel for Niels Döring now. His team talk quickly out the window at the start of this second half, because at 2-0 up, this game takes on a very different complexion for Wiesbaden. One lucky punch will not be enough now. And finding two against Bayern, oh, you're asking a lot. You have to go back to hold the thought, because Wiesbaden do have a chance here. Stifled in the end by Bayern's back line. And now Wiesbaden has stretched. The pass to Karl just needed to be a little bit more ahead of him, but he does really well, and he's still got the trick. Oh! Well, that's not needed from Niklas May. Wasn't happy with the 17-year-old's tricks. Hacked him down at the ankles. That's the type of challenge he'd be subjected to in the third tier.
A cheeky one as well, but this is adult football. Obviously the players from that age doesn't like to get just cheeky actions like this, but I love that. He should never leave that, and probably his style of play will change over the years, but at the moment it's just enjoyable to watch Lennart Karl.
Kimmich with the free kick. Change of angle. Karl in that little pocket of space in behind. Everyone waiting for that dink diagonal that Kimmich has almost trademarked in this Bayern midfield. Less white shirts ahead of him, and all of a sudden the shape has changed somewhat. Bayern resetting. Karl to Kimmich. Guerrero was making that box-to-box run into the penalty area, but now Elise finding Kimmich. Kimmich looking for Guerrero. Constant movement from the Portuguese. Kimmich can pick out those passes because he's one of the best in the business when it comes to passing range, vision, execution. To Bouet. Nice idea from Elise, gets the ball back, finds Kane eventually, flag stays down, Guerrero! Now the flag is up. There was certainly a hint of it.
Guerrero doesn't seem to agree, but yeah, very, very close, but right decision again. So the first one, not the second one. So Harry Kane just probably too big feet.
Oh, lovely touch from Carl to Kane. Harry Kane, oh, just couldn't get the shot off. Constantly seemed to be second-guessing himself, but now Diaz, this could be dangerous. Luis Diaz! Oh, he's put it wide! How has he not got... That must be his 6th or 7th effort. Still nothing to show for it.
Yeah, and I think he's asking himself the same question. But again, good goalkeeper position from Stritzler as well, because he makes it very hard. The angle is not great anymore, and Luis Diaz is looking down to the ball. And a second later, Stritzler is already in front of him. So again, another chance killed by the goalkeeper.
I think the Wiesbaden fans are chanting Stritzler will get us our next goal. I mean, that's high hopes indeed.
Probably someone scores at him.
But it tells you, it gives you an idea of the status he holds, and you can understand why he holds that status based on his performance tonight. And the heartbreaking moment on the weekend in that 4-3 loss to Rot-Weiss Essen, they scored the equaliser at 3-3 late on. And then Niels Döring pointing out that they were a bit too naive in not holding on to that draw. Rot-Weiss Essen fell to Dortmund in the first round of the DFB Pokal as Kim... Bit of a risky pass, but then Ubig well off his line. Takes the threat levels down.
Yeah, there are moments where you see Lennart Karl is only 17. So there are some ideas and decisions he's taking is like probably a bit overwhelming for the rest of his teammates. But still, like, it's just something you should definitely, yeah, give him as a credit to have the freedom to decide whatever he wants to decide.
Pavlovic, pass behind Bouet. Now Elise, into feet for Karl. Agrafiotis there, caught by Bouet. I don't think he really meant to, but certainly a foul. The home side have got 2 changes readied. Ryan Johansson, one of the former Bayern Academy products, coming off. Milad Nead on in his place, and it's Moritz Floto who enters the fray up front. Well, plenty for Julian Nagelsmann to mull over here tonight.
To be honest, honest, I think Lennart Karl is a player that Julian Nagelsmann likes from the way he plays, because he likes to have these young players that have no fear at all. So definitely, I'm sure he's looking very much on Lennart Karl tonight as well, and probably will have a good opinion after this game about him.
Not easy for Boué to deal with, under pressure from Floto, the new man on the pitch. He's one of the 3 players that dropped from the Wiesbaden starting lineup tonight. Nicolas Agrafiotis, the man who made way for him. He was the player who had arguably the best sight of goal for Wiesbaden in the first half. Follow-up effort. Chance opened up for him. He went to open up his boot looking for the far corner, just put a little too much on the shot. And now, Kane's offside again. Oh, such a shame. It would have been a lovely goal for Lennart Karl, but the linesman on this near side is taking no prisoners.
And another right decision, definitely. But still nice. You can see it here as well. Lennart Karl is also calm in front of the goal.
And there was a helping hand as Olise got his goal, because the assist came from a Wiesbaden player. But that's what happens when you play against Bayern. Sometimes a bit of rash, panicky defending to try and get the ball away from danger number 1, and you don't realise there's danger number 2 waiting in the wings. And truth be told, Bayern have 10 dangers on the pitch.
There are waves of danger.
Olise. Just looking at Weaver's way forward. Diaz picks up the pieces! Oh, he's put it over. He's just not going to get his goal tonight. It doesn't matter how hard he tries, how many chances he creates. Florian Strietzel will not be beaten by the Colombian.
And probably now he's a bit frustrated as well by himself, because that's a chance he just got in front of his foot, and this is some ball that you shouldn't take wide from his quality. But maybe because he just wants it so much, he wants to make it with power rather than with precision.
Over an hour played now at the Britta Arena. The home crowd have been quietened a little bit by the second goal scored by Michael Olise. Bayern's travelling fans still in fine voice. They arrived expectant today on the trains and planes from Munich. You have to go back to 1994 for the last time that Bayern suffered a first round defeat in this competition. 30 games they have survived since then. It's an ongoing DFB Pokal record that they're looking to extend tonight, and on course to do so. Back in 1994 it was TSV Westenbergskreuz who got the win. Roland Stein got the winning goal. That was a Bayern team that included the likes of Oliver Kahn, Lothar Matthäus, Dietmar Hamann, Mehmet Scholl. But the current stars are really putting on a show now, and the offside flag is starting to steal that show a little bit in this second half. Strietzel didn't know it was up though. I mean, he's getting them all right.
Exactly, and even if Vincent Kompany probably doesn't agree to all the decisions, so far they were all right.
Penny for the thoughts there of Max Ebel, the board director of sports, in the stands. Bayern's bosses had a big meeting this week. It went on for several hours apparently. All talking about the transfer plans. There's the window yet to close. There's been pressure put on the club to do a bit more business from their honorary president, Uli Hoeneß. He's never one to shy away from giving a quote to the press, whether they're well advised or not, but he talked about Bayern needing to make a loan deal. They don't have the money for a permanent signing. They need to be more creative. But now Wiesbaden getting creative! Oh! The captain! Fatih Kaya! The Britta Arena erupts! A bolt from the blue! But what a moment for Fatih Kaya! The Wien Wiesbaden captain.
timing to score the first goal and also make it again. And all right, good decision here as well. He's onside and he has just the advantage of knowing where the ball comes down, and Jonathan Tah took a second too long to watch the ball and leave his opponent and forgot his opponent probably in the back, and that's a brilliant cross and a brilliant finish from VN Wiesbaden, and he's definitely, he has every right to be furious.
Well, the Blitzer Arena has been reactivated. But you're right, that was a world-class cross from Niklas May. Any of Bayern's players would have been happy producing that quality of delivery. And Kaya still had work to do. First time finish, not easy. Bayern have won their last 5 first-round ties without conceding. But VN Wiesbaden will not want that to just be a collector's item. The question is, can they turn it into more? I can tell you that Bayern are responding. Leon Goretzka and Serge Gnabry are having a quick word with the assistant coach, Aaron Banks, ahead of entering the fray. Pavlovic hasn't had his best game in midfield, so seems a likely candidate. Here is Pavlovic, though. Maybe he can leave with a bang. Oh, May with wonderful play there. The confidence of a team that aren't too worn down, Julia.
Yeah, the confidence shown in moments like this, but also the belief now. Again, now they suddenly start to play football again, and they have the fans now again, a vibrating stadium behind them, and winning duels like this is exactly what they need now, and getting chaos into the game and taking the control from a dominant Bayern side now is exactly what they need in the next 25 minutes, because that's their chance now. That 1% that probably got to 2 now, because now they scored and now they're back in the game.
It is going to be Alexander Pavlovic making way. The other number flashed up is 42. It's a shame to lose Lennart Karl after 67 minutes on the clock. But again, we've talked about him a lot throughout his performance. He did catch the eye, he did have some bright moments, and for his first Bayern start, it certainly wasn't a bad one, Julia.
No, definitely not a bad one. He is full of quality, full of energy as well, full of bravery. Still has to go a couple of next steps, definitely. You can see this in some moments, but the ideas he has, they are all very, very promising.
Julian Nagelsmann there scribbling in his notes, maybe a date when he wants to get Lennart Karl involved in the national team for the first time, or never know. How injuries play out nowadays when it comes to national teams. Bayern had some pretty poor experiences with international breaks last season, costing them big players at big moments, and that was Vincent Kompany's statement at the start of this season. His big wish was to have everyone fit for the final stretch when it comes down to the title-winning form. Kimmich clipping it over for Olise. Such a delicate pass, but wonderfully taken down. Oh, Sacha Boey! Angle against him. The French connection almost coming to the fore there for Bayern. Wiesbaden. It's route 1. Min Jae Kim having a good old wrestle. Moritz Floto making life as difficult as he can against the 2 Bayern centre-backs. Neil Stirring there, I think, enjoying the battling qualities of his substitute, with maybe one of a few more decisions to go his way from the referee, but then doesn't every head coach.
And the battling qualities is definitely something that stood out for me from tonight's VN Wiesbaden's performance, because on every position they were willing to fight and to battle every duel really, and they were quite physical, and they could have held up that level with Bayern as well.
Wade penalised for another shoulder barge. And to be honest, I can understand why he was a bit frustrated that neither got given.
Yeah.
It's almost textbook, shoulder to shoulder. A little bit more concern etched on the face of Kompany, and now Kai is in behind. The chance to level the score! 2-2 in the Britta Arena. The DFB Pokal first round this season is the gift that keeps on giving. Taking stuff at the Britta Arena, and the record title holders are rattled.
And how easy can you make it yourself with one header and one run in behind, and that's enough to take out the complete Bayern defense. But being cool in front of Ruiz Urbik also is a quality that Kaya has and shown in this game. That's a very good finish, full of will, full of conviction as well, and now the stadium is exploding and he's already mentioning it. Now you have to be aware, now you have to be clever, now you have to take the game on your side.
It's enough to give you goosebumps. We had a 6-goal thriller last night in the DFB Pokal involving the cup holders, Stuttgart. Heartbreak. In the end for Eintracht Braunschweig in the penalty shootout. But what the VfB Wiesbaden now have in store for us. Just under 20 minutes of normal time remaining. And the game has taken a complexion I don't think we ever saw coming, Julia.
Yeah, and also in only 5 minutes. And that's the more of football. It just needs one goal and you're back alive. And exactly that happened tonight with the fans and with the belief and with a good coach and a match plan as well. And players who are able to execute that plan as well. And then you have that second goal and now everything is open. And exactly the thrilling Pokal nights we all wish for.
Kimmich. Hoch und weit brings Sicherheit, as they say here in Germany. High and long brings security. Doesn't quite have the same ring in translation, unfortunately. But they can't afford to do that too much. They can't afford to let Bayern just generate uncontested pressure now. Some of the fans in front of us can't believe what they've seen here either. They're already taking photos, trying to capture the moment and the memory, but there might still be more to come here. And Stanisic and Leimer are ready to come on for Bayern. We went from talking about Bayern taking this game very seriously at half-time to we can't question how seriously they've taken it, but what a twist and turn in the tail here. And Luis Diaz now will really lament his missed chances. He's not the only one. But now listen to the home crowd. Berlin, Berlin, we're going to Berlin.
That's now the moment of dreams.
We did have a stonking game between Braunschweig and Stuttgart last night. The difference was Braunschweig took the lead a couple of times in that game. Now the onus is on Bayern. Because in the last 5 years, they have not been a stranger to a giant killing. Kane and Gnabry. Back to Gnabry. The chance is saved. And Kane on the follow-up is blocked. Oh, Kane click penalty. Oh, that feels so harsh. Last ditch. Desperate defending there from VfB Wiesbaden. They were surviving all the scares.
And surviving, I think, is the right word, because they're just throwing everything into the ball, everything into the battles. And I think it's a clear penalty, we have to admit that. Even if you feel like VN Wiesbaden doesn't deserve this because they're so brave and they're putting everything in it, but it's a clear foul. He's not touching the ball at all, he's just hitting Harry Kane's foot, and probably a very painful penalty he took for his team as well. And it's the question now if he's still in pain, if he still takes the penalty.
I don't think he takes it if he is in pain or not. I think that's just who Harry Kane is. And it is very hard to argue against. Chaos in the box. Can't keep track of everything that is happening, but now we saw this sight in the first half at the opposite end of the pitch. We thought that Stritzel maybe moved a little too early. Be interesting to see if he learned his lessons up against Harry Kane. Of course, the last time Harry Kane missed a penalty in competitive action was when he took 2 for England against France at the World Cup in Qatar. Since then, 31 of 31 converted. It's Kane against Stritzel. Oh, Stritzel comes up big! And again! And still! Oh, it's cleared! I don't believe it! But the Britta Arena do! The stands are shaking! The phones are out! Florian Stritzel is turning into a cup hero tonight. He was a hero when his side were 2-0 down and 2-2. Oh my goodness. The stuff of legend. And still Bayern come. Still there's time. What a cup game. That is the first competitive penalty missed by Harry Kane since 2022. Florian Stritzel with a memory for life.
And he definitely learned his lesson, and he waited long, and he is a triple save. Something I haven't seen often in football games. But if it's happening now and tonight, it's him. It must have been him. And it just underlines and highlights an extraordinary goalkeeping performance by him. And I think he slowly starts to realize what he's doing for his team tonight.
The 2-goal hero and the captain, Fatih Kaya, coming off for Wiesbaden. Josip Stanisic and Konrad Laimer have entered the fray for Bayern. Just listen to this reception though for the captain. He has done everything he can. An extraordinary, heroic effort from Fatih Kaya. He'd only scored 2 goals this season already. Now he scored 2 against Bayern, no less, to give his side a lifeline that no one ever thought possible. But now the tough part. Now he has to go sit on the bench and leave it up to his teammates to see whether they can find the final push. Because now we are back in lucky punch territory, and one is all it will take. Say to Gnabry. Oh, lovely reverse pass to find Goretzka. And what an important block on the cross. Because now every moment for Wiesbaden is crucial.
there was always a fear of Jan Sommer when he still played for Gladbach, that Bayern were always struggling to score a goal against, somehow, for whatever reason, but he's definitely the one that Bayern won't forget in the future. That name, Striezel, is something I think they will all keep in their minds.
Olise. Get it clear. Earned a lot of plaudits for his role in the 6-0 win against Leipzig. A player that many thought was on the outs a little bit at Bayern, but Kingsley Coman, Leroy Sané have left the club, and it gives Gnabry the chance to re-establish himself a little bit more firmly in the Bayern ranks. Now, ball on the opposite side. Gnabry wants it back post. Diaz goes to Kimmich instead. Diaz makes the run. He was the target, not found. Bayern reasserting their dominance. At least they caught a little late there, but play goes on Gnabry. Loose touch lets him down. And all of a sudden there's a little bit of desperation in the dominance from Vincent Kompany's side. He talked about the key in the cup wanting it more.
And now it's a game where it's not about quality anymore. It's about fans who pushing their team over a limit. It's about will, it's about belief, it's about going over 100% over and over again in moments and being able to do it and being ready to do it. And now it's about hunger and mentally strength probably as well to just do the job. And there's something, momentum, changing and still having control now and finding that button really to have that in your pocket as well is something where Vincent Kompany sees the character now of his team as well.
Gnabry spotted the space, couldn't exploit it. There are now some tired legs in red and black. Olise! Olise! Diaz! And even Olise can't get the better of Striezel.
No, and there are games sometimes when you feel like, no problem, even if the ball is flying towards the goal, no problem, the goalkeeper is there and he's ready to save it. And this is, I think, the case today with Striezel.
The goalkeeping highlights and lowlights of this game, because Urbik still, I don't think, has made a save. But he has conceded twice.
It's a bit Urbik's story as well so far with Bayern, that he got given a couple of games, but he was never really lucky in his games. He conceded a lot of goals, and not only because of him, just because the games were sometimes completely against him and his team. And again tonight, a bit of an unlucky performance from him as well.
Leimer. Kimmich looking for Kane. Kane's not offside this time, but he can't turn the head on target. Oh, the flag did go up a bit late. That one, it looked like he had timed right, truth be told. But yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, whether it's his foot, shoulder, knee, there's always something ahead of the last man. We've seen some incredible performances from lower league sides in the DFB Pokal first round. We've seen some incredible goalkeeping performances, but Florian Schnitzel is right up there now. 11 saves made and 1 penalty from none other than Harry Kane.
Good platform for him as well to use that night to have that outstanding performance when the whole world, or at least many people are watching.
The type of night that you'll tell your family about for years and years to come. The other goalkeeping performance that stands out, truth be told, was that of the Eintracht Norderstedt goalkeeper in their 0-0 draw with St. Pauli that went to penalties, and a heartbreaking loss there. But Lars Huxol, the amount of saves he made across the 120 minutes that afternoon was absurd. And Schnitzel isn't quite hitting those numbers yet, but 11 against Bayern. Wow. And it's one of the big prerequisites. If you want to upset the odds against Bayern, your goalkeeper has to be at his very best. Less than 5 minutes of normal time. A nervous wait perhaps to see how many minutes are added on at the end. See whether they will need another half an hour to decide proceedings here tonight. Wien Wiesbaden and Bayern München. Too congested for the cross from Gnabry.
See in the shape of Wien Wiesbaden how disciplined they are. They not one player is saving a step, a yard. They all ready to go and to wait for that mistake or a bad pass from Bayern to then just be ready to jump in. But also being in the box and always very awake is amazing to see.
Again, now that Kim's on the ball, you have every single Bayern outfield player on your screen. Camped out as Leimer's in behind, cutting inside. Konrad Leimer forces a bit of chaos, but not enough. Then the ball given straight back to Bayern by the hosts. Herbig picking it up on the halfway line. Diaz now out wide on the left. One-on-one with his man. Diaz, who I still think has more shots on goal tonight than the entire Wiesbaden team combined, the Colombian. Those misses will be forgotten if he can find a winning goal, though, I tell you that. Kimmich, that diagonal looking for Kane. Battles in the air. Fair fight. Not really won by either party. Kimmich scraps away though, and Gnabry finds Olise. Little space to work with for the Frenchman. Kimmich picks up the pieces, back to Olise. Change of angle, Goretzka! Schnitzel, of course! Of course it's Florian Schnitzel there first. And I tell you what, these Wiesbaden fans celebrated that like it was a winning goal. He is making himself a hero tonight. And he was already a fan favourite, Florian Schnitzel. Gnabry to Kimmich. Not that football works that way, Julia, but Wien Wiesbaden have earned another half an hour here against Bayern München, haven't they?
No, they definitely do. And you feel like they're still okay. They're still able to go over the 100%, and I'm sure the legs are burning and they have pain and they feel it now, but they so online, like every second ball is in their hands, and that always speaks for the energy you still have to give and to bring. And these moments now you can see, okay, a lot of players now touching a bit their legs, their calves, and it's starting to hurt, but you have to be clear in your head, because it starts in your head really, so you just have to go over the point and not start to think about what hurts you in this moment.
What is pain when there's a chance at history? Julian Nagelsmann, I'm not sure he expected to see quite the cup classic he's witnessed here tonight. But you can't turn your nose up at this as a neutral football fan, because this is the beauty of football. This is the beauty of the DFB Pokal first round. This is the beauty of knockout football at its finest, because at 2-0 down, Wiesbaden, with nothing to lose, went hell for leather, found 2 goals to level the scores, and now we've got 5 minutes added on at the end of the 90.
And mentioning Julian Nagelsmann, he maybe also noted one name that he didn't have in mind before, and that's Florian Stritzel on his notebook, because that's definitely one of the most outstanding performances he saw today on the pitch.
I mentioned you have to go back to 1994 for the last time Bayern lost a first round tie. You have to go back to 2006 for the last time a first round tie involving Bayern even went to extra time. Back then, St. Pauli were the opponents, a 1-0 draw after 90, and there was an own goal to win it for Bayern in extra time. Olise. Kimmich on the overlap. Digs out the cross. How to play for a goal kick. This is going to become a common sight, no doubt. The energy investment from Niels Döring's side. They've got their rewards. What a change as well of tone for Bayern. 6-0 winners against Leipzig, sending a statement in their first Bundesliga match of the season, and then they come here to Wiesbaden. Clear favourites. Vincent Kompany names a near full-strength side, and yet they haven't got the job done here. And they are 1 goal removed from another major upset in this competition. One they haven't won since 2020. A 4-2 win against Bayer Leverkusen in the final, in an empty Olympiastadion, the height of COVID. That was their last win. That was their last appearance in a final. 5 seasons since then. 3 times they've been knocked out in the second round. Once in the round of 16 last season against Leverkusen. Once in the quarterfinals against Freiburg in the 22-23 campaign. And I just keep going back to that quote from the Wien Wiesbaden fan I was talking to on the way up here, Jens. If Kiel and Saarbrücken can knock Bayern out of the cup, then so can we. That belief was there pre-match. That belief is there more than ever right now, as we are heading towards an extra half an hour.
Yeah, maybe the belief from Jens jumped over to the team of Wiesbaden.
The Wiesbaden fans are banging on everything they can find in the Blitzer Arena to drum up the atmosphere even more. Bayern looking for a late winner. Kane is underneath it. Oh, he's got it! Harry Kane with a big game moment just when Bayern needed it most. And Florian Stritzel, the hero, is finally beaten. It is heartbreak for Wien Wiesbaden, who gave as good as they got to get it back to 2-2. But when it came down to hunger and who wanted it more, Kane wanted it more in the air. the hero. Harry Kane stepped up.
And probably that's also the story of the night, that just everything can happen. The one who missed the penalty now is there to score probably the winner in the last minute, and this is the moment where Strizel probably lost the orientation for a second, because if he goes that way, he probably should go out completely and catch, or try to catch the ball. If not, he's a bit in the middle of nowhere and can't refuse it anymore. So again, another goal of quality by Harry Kane that probably only he is able to score in the Bayern squad.
Oh, the minute he hung in the air, it seemed written in the stars for him to double his account for this evening. Wiesbaden are going to throw everything forward now, though. Why not? They got nothing to lose. Burbig collects and takes a few precious seconds off the clock, which is a tactic we don't see Bayern resort to all too often. It's not a tactic they have to resort to, but that is to Wien Wiesbaden's credit tonight. A cup classic comes to an end at the Blätter Arena. Bayern München, the record title holders, survive an almighty scare thanks to Harry Kane's heroics. The third-tier side gave the Bundesliga champions a real run for their money. They came from 2-0 down against all odds, but the cup set wasn't to be. Bayern's quality told in the end. Kane with the winning goal. Bayern into the second round of the DFB-Pokal. Well, what a night, what a first round in the DFB-Pokal. I don't know what it was this season, but there seemed to be something special about it. Twists and turns, and Bayern are not the only Bundesliga side who suffered a scare and had to survive a scare in the first round to book their ticket to the next round, but that's exactly what's happened tonight. And in the end, it was one moment of individual quality from a certain Harry Kane that does decide proceedings here.
Yeah, and we mentioned these own laws of the cup, and I think they got proven so well in that first round in many games, but especially tonight when you get Bayern on the edge with a performance like this. This just shows what's happening, what football is able to do if you just grow over 100%, and this is something that Wien Wiesbaden can be very, very proud of tonight.
Our memories made for life in what for many of these players might be the biggest game of their lives, their careers, and for these fans maybe it's one of the biggest games that they've ever witnessed as well. And what a night to be here. I mean, this is the place you wanted to be. We thought there was going to be party time in Wiesbaden, and there might still be, because truth be told, once they take a step back from what's happened and the heartbreak, they should realise that they have so much to be proud of in their performance, and these fans, I think I'm speaking for all of them when I say they are very proud of what their team produced tonight.
Definitely, there's probably more you could expect from the game and after the heartbreak, and that's definitely there. And I think the pain is there at the moment, physically but also mentally. That hurts, because it's just the last minute of the game where you fought, where you battled, where you left your heart on the pitch, and that's one moment where you're not concentrated enough. And that's something that's, as a football player, that's so frustrating. But at the end, they can be, as we mentioned, so proud. And what they did tonight is probably something they can take through the whole season, because it's a team there on the pitch with a very good coach, with a very good match plan as well. And it's something kind of making history for some of the players.
Oh, to have an ear into what Nils Thuring, the Wien Wiesbaden head coach, is saying right now. So many positives to draw from. And I tell you what, if they play like that, then life in the third tier shouldn't be too difficult for them, even if it is a unforgiving league. They are still seen as promotion favourites down there, and you can understand why. based on what they produced here this season. But it's one thing to do it against Bayern, it's another to do it across your league matches. And Harry Kane, he's had some big moments in his career. Big moments against bigger teams than VN Wiesbaden. But this is his moment to soak up the magic of the Cup as well. And these fans have deserved a win here tonight, the Bayern fans.
And it's a proof again that Harry Kane is just irreplaceable for the Bayern squad. He's just there when they need him the most. And this is something, if he's not injured, it's just a quality that you can't replace, a quality that you can't buy with a lot of money. It's just, you need to keep him healthy and fit. And that's probably the key for Bayern throughout the season.
His purple patch gets a shade deeper at the start of a World Cup season as well. 6 goals in 3 competitive games. And let's be honest, Julia, he should have had a hat-trick tonight, and he would have, were it not for that man, Florian Stritzel, who is reliving all of his highlights, all of his saves.
And probably already speaking about what he did wrong. And that's the last sequence of the game when his teammates probably put him up or pick him up and saying him, look, you did so many saves, without you wouldn't have even be there at the end. And that's something he should highlight now and not focusing on that little second of a mistake where he lost probably the orientation.
There is no shame in being beaten by Harry Kane. But there's a huge highlight when you save one of his penalties, because there's very few goalkeepers that can make that claim in the professional game. But Florian Stritzel ended the run at 31 to keep this game alive. And look at the dominance on paper. And yet we were here on the edge of our seat to the very last second, thinking that VN Wiesbaden might have something special in them tonight. But Bayern do what they weren't able to do against Holstein Kiel and Saarbrücken. They found a way to find that extra bit. And maybe that extra bit was Harry Kane.
Was Harry Kane, and was also maybe also the thought of not again. Let's not do it again. This is our year where we want it probably most, and we have to just make the next step. And somehow it worked out, but with a little bit of luck probably at the end as well, and with the quality of Harry Kane.
And there you see the VN Wiesbaden fans to our left, who are still celebrating their side. No one is leaving early here, I can tell you. Everyone very much reveling in the post-match celebrations, wanting to take that moment to soak it all in. And now we can go down to our sideline reporter, Anna Zara Langer, who has our first interview of the evening.
Ran Johansson is here with us. Thanks for stepping by. You had them so close to extra time. You had them so close to a possible loss. How would you describe your emotions right now?
Yeah, it's tough to take. Very tough. I mean, we're all very tired, very emotional now. I think we can all say that we gave everything on the pitch, so we'll take that with us.
After halftime, you fired 2 shots on goal, and both were scored by your captain, Kaya. What was important to come back into the game like this?
Yeah, I mean, that's why he's our striker. That's why he's our captain. He gives us so much life, and he brought the game back for us, as well as our goalie Strille. I mean, both of them, they made it a match today, and yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't bring it to the end.
What was probably not good is to cause 2 penalties against Bayern. You had a situation as well with Boe, which led to the first penalty. How do you analyze that?
It's 100% my mistake. He got in front of me. I thought, yeah, I'm going to try to pull him down because he has a free shot. Hopefully the ref doesn't see it. The ref saw it. So, yeah, just a horrible mistake by me.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful words there from the former Bayern Academy product, Ryan Johansson, pointing out the fact that they're tired, emotional, but ultimately no one can blame or lay the claim at the feet of VN Wiesbaden that they didn't leave it all out on the pitch tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and I think this is what they should focus on. What they did here was outstanding, and probably not to be expected as well, but they could push themselves over the limits, and it was a exciting Pokal night for, I think, all of us, whether you're a Wien Wiesbaden fan or not.
Yeah, another epic cup tie that delivered until the last. I thought we were destined for extra time. After witnessing what we witnessed in Braunschweig last night, I thought, yeah, we're going for an extra half an hour here.
Me too.
And from there, yes, Bayern still would have been the favourites. They still would have been unrelenting in building up their pressure. But Wien Wiesbaden certainly would have deserved it tonight, on a night they really left it all out here on the Britta Arena pitch. But it wasn't to be. The fairy tale denied by the record title holders. James Thorogood, Julia Simic, thanks for joining us here tonight. The final score, Wien Wiesbaden 2, Bayern München 3.